Guy was diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer, hypertension, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes.
The oncologist told me, it's too late. We have nothing to do for you. You're already dead. I find the solution, autophagy, and who spoke about autophagy? Of course, the Nobel Prize, 2016, Thomas Seyfried.
And he did water-only fasting, metabolic therapy. Prostate cancer went into total remission. Type 2 diabetes went away. Hypertension, high blood pressure, everything went away. So this was what I'm saying. Metabolic therapy will get rid of a lot of things.
Okay, so let's dive into this. Imagine you're told you have incurable stage 4 prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Bone, lymph node metastases, given maybe months, perhaps a couple of years.
Yeah.
That was Guy+tenenbaum, August 2018.
It's a staggering diagnosis to face.
Absolutely. But he didn't just accept it. He became, well, what his followers called the samurai. He really embarked on this active, almost martial kind of quest against the disease.
Right, the samurai. And what's really compelling here, I think, is how he transformed that deeply personal battle into something much, much larger.
Yeah, it wasn't just about survival for him.
Not at all. He didn't just, challenge his diagnosis. He emerged as this prominent public figure, became an author, and maybe most remarkably, even a co-author on scientific papers.
Which is quite the journey. So for our deep dive today, that's exactly what we're going to explore.
Mm-hmm.
How did Guy+tenenbaum navigate this really improbable path?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a pretty fascinating stack of sources here, a detailed expert report, YouTube transcripts, various articles, all trying to shed light on his unique approach.
Yeah, a lot to unpack.
Definitely. So our mission really is to dissect his transformation, try to understand this multi-dimensional platform he built.
Right.
And explore the different facets of his influence, from survivor all the way to independent researcher.
Okay.
So when you look at our sources, what immediately stands out is that incredibly stark starting point you mentioned, August 2018.
Yeah.
Doctors deliver the news. Stage 4, prostate cancer, bone and lymph nodes involved, incurable, prognosis.
Yeah.
Months, maybe 2 years max. It's hard to picture a more devastating blow.
And it seems like it's precisely that existential moment that forged this samurai identity you talked about. Yeah. It feels like more than just a catchy name. It really embodies a philosophy, doesn't it? Extreme discipline, rigor, resilience.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to have very deliberately reframed what could be a passive medical process into an active, almost martial battle, emphasizing intense willpower, strategic engagement.
That really is a fundamental shift in mindset. And instead of sticking strictly to conventional treatments like chemo or radiation.
Though he did try something conventional briefly, right?
He did, yeah. Our sources mention a brief trial with Zytiga, which is a pretty common targeted therapy for prostate cancer.
Okay.
But his main path was deeply personal, focused on what he calls his 5 essentials protocol. Very much an autonomous, self-designed regimen, leaning heavily into natural methods.
Indeed. And our report details this protocol quite extensively. It outlines a really comprehensive approach.
What did that involve?
Well, it's centered on specific dietary practices like a ketogenic diet and prolonged fasting. Notably, he undertook a pretty challenging 45-day fast.
Wow, 45 days.
Yeah. And beyond diet, he integrated this wide array of supplements and natural compounds.
Like what sort of things?
Oh, it ranged from metabolic enhancers, think alpha-lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, to vitamins like C, D, B complex, minerals like magnesium, zinc, selenium, and also potent herbal and spice blends, turmeric, ginger, even bitter almond kernels were mentioned.
And his regimen didn't just stop at what he ingested, right?
Yeah.
He also focused on alkalizing his body.
That's right. Using things like lemon or apple cider vinegar, baking soda, it really underscores how comprehensive and, I guess, self-directed this program was.
Yeah, it wasn't just throwing things at the wall, it seems. It was highly structured, even if unconventional.
That's a really important distinction, and a crucial point he consistently emphasizes, and our sources really highlight this, is that he is not a doctor.
Right. He's very clear on that.
Very clear. He explicitly states he does not recommend others follow his protocol. He presents it purely as a testimony of his personal experience. And that distinction is vital, separating his journey from actual medical advice.
But what's really compelling about his personal protocol, even with that disclaimer, is that it isn't just some random collection of remedies.
No.
the report we have notes this remarkable convergence between his 5 essentials and certain scientific principles.
How so?
Well, for instance, supplements like the alpha-lipoic acid and CoQ10 you mentioned, they are recognized for their roles in cellular metabolism.
Right, the basic energy processes in cells.
Exactly. And Tenenbaum's co-authored scientific work, which we'll get to, specifically delves into how disrupting those metabolic pathways might impact cancer.
Exactly. So that suggests his approach isn't merely anecdotal, is it? It kind of represents an active application of theoretical concepts he's clearly engaged with.
Yeah, it elevates his case beyond just simple personal testimony.
Which makes him this fascinating example of a citizen scientist. You know, someone without formal academic credentials who actively engages in scientific inquiry or research, often applying it directly to their own lived experience. And his journey is also frequently connected to this concept of radical remission.
Yes, Dr. Kelly Turner's work.
Exactly, her extensive work on it. Radical remission describes those, well, statistically improbable cancer recoveries.
Right, the cases where people heal against all odds, often after conventional treatments didn't work.
Precisely. And our sources show his books are often grouped with hers, which sort of gives his personal story a broader legitimacy within this whole phenomenon of unexpected healing.
So that positioning transforms his individual experience into something larger.
Yeah, it makes it like a data point in a broader thesis that, you know, profound, unexpected recovery is possible. It offers his audience not just hope, which is huge, but also a kind of framework and maybe a sense of belonging to a community.
And beyond his personal story and the protocol itself, Tenenbaum has built this entire platform around his experience. He's a prolific author, for one.
Yeah, the books are key.
Our sources list several: Ma croisade contre le cancer, My Battle Against Cancer, the Viral Protocol. And they're presented as these powerful personal testimonies.
Written, as he says, to help and give hope.
Right, especially to patients who might feel a bit abandoned by traditional medicine.
But this isn't just about sharing a story, is it? It's also quite a shrewd entrepreneurial model.
Hey?
Well, the funds generated from his book sales, donations, it's explicitly stated that these go towards his associations and to finance research. So his survival story effectively becomes the central product, amplifying his message and creating this cycle of influence and funding for his cause.
And his digital footprint is, well, it's immense. He runs 2 YouTube channels, Cancer Therapy and SurviveFromCancer.
And the numbers are staggering.
They really are.
Yeah.
Collectively, they claim over 13.6 million cumulative views. That is extraordinary reach.
Absolutely. These channels act as a really powerful funnel, don't they? They draw people in with the personal story.
Yeah.
And then encourage them to delve deeper, maybe buy the books, engage with his organization.
It's a remarkably cohesive strategy.
It is. The videos introduce his world, offer testimonials. The books provide the deeper dive into his protocol and philosophy. Together, it's a well-designed advocacy platform.
And there's a concrete structure behind it, too.
Yes, that's important. Our sources verify the existence of Survive.
Bonjour les amis. Alors j'ai fait un petit texte dont je vais devoir...
And Tenenbaum himself is listed as an officer and director.
However, there was a slight divergence concerning a French association, right? SurviveFromCancer, which he also claims to have founded.
Yes, that's correct. Our research further report, well, it couldn't formally verify a direct link between him and an existing French association of that specific name. He did respond, saying it's managed by a friend in France, but it's just one of those details that touches on clarity and transparency, especially for a public figure who emphasizes precision in his own approach.
That's a fair point about clarity. But what truly, I think, elevates his narrative is how someone operating largely outside conventional medicine has gained formal recognition within the academic sphere.
And that brings us to his
Guy
co-author
was diagnosed with advanced prostate
which is
cancer.
genuinely remarkable.
This is where the journey takes a really surprising turn, isn't it?
It really is.
Our sources confirm his co-authorship on multiple scientific articles, including one titled Cancer Metabolism, Fasting Reset, The Keto Paradox, and Drugs for Undoing.
And published where?
Published in the Journal of Clinical Medicine. And the key thing here is that this is a peer-reviewed journal.
Meaning it's undergone validation by other experts in the field. That's significant.
Hugely significant.
Yeah.
He's listed as an independent researcher alongside established figures like Maurice Israel, a research director, and Dr. Eric Berg, a chiropractor.
And the article's themes, cancer, metabolism, fasting, ketogenic diets, They directly echo the principles of his own 5 Essentials protocol.
Exactly. It's not separate.
No. This engagement fundamentally blurs those traditional lines, between patient, activist, and formal researcher.
His intensely personal experience isn't just testimony anymore.
No, it becomes a catalyst, a starting point for actual scientific exploration. It's quite something.
So when we pull all these threads together, we see Guy+tenenbaum, the samurai, has constructed this incredibly integrated, multifaceted persona.
Absolutely.
He is first and foremost a survivor. His radical remission is the basis of his authority.
Right. Then he's an author and entrepreneur who's adeptly, monetized that experience, channeling funds back into his cause.
Who's also a powerful digital influencer, amplifying his message across massive platforms.
And now, perhaps most surprisingly, he's a participant in the academic world, actively seeking to ground his non-conventional approach in formal science.
It really is a powerful and coherent ecosystem he's built.
It is. And the central paradox, perhaps, of his authority lies in that tension. He's addressing an audience who might feel let down by conventional medicine.
Right.
Yet simultaneously, he gains this different layer of credibility by co-signing peer-reviewed scientific articles.
So his authority doesn't come from a medical degree.
No, it comes from this rare and potent combination, defying prognosis through sheer personal survival, and then gaining this quasi-scientific credibility through direct participation in formal research. It truly represents a modern and frankly complex case. It steps outside the usual frameworks.
Absolutely. His journey just unequivocally challenges those traditional boundaries between patient experience and formal expertise.
It really does.
And this raises a really important question, I think. As we observe how deeply lived experience like Tenenbaum's can intersect with and maybe even integrate into formal research, what place might the future hold for these patient researcher profiles?
Or the broader concept of citizen science.
Exactly. Particularly in our approach to diseases as complex as cancer.
Yeah.
Could these, non-conventional paths actually influence or perhaps even fundamentally reshape the traditional avenues of health research and advocacy?
That's something for you, the listener, to ponder, perhaps, long after our deep dive concludes.